Hello and welcome back. I'm Deck Tortoise, and I have a quick video for you today. This time we're going to be talking about the Caldari Navy Hookbill. Now, I did a lot of experimenting with this ship, and I flew it in a lot of different ways. I flew it armor tanked, I flew it shield tanked, I flew it with shield extenders and ancillary armor reps, all different kinds of formations. And the one that I finally kind of settled on, the fit that I enjoyed flying the most and that I think is the strongest right now, is actually structure tanked with dual webs. Obviously you have your afterburner and your scram, as well as a tracking disruptor. That tracking disruptor means that you can kind of shut down most of the DPS of any kind of turret ship, and because you have just excellent range control with your dual webs and your scram and your afterburner, you can pretty much control the range of any engagement because you have all of those open mid slots. Now, the trade-off for using all of your mid slots for range control, range dictation, and E-War is that your overall ability to tank is definitely going to be reduced by it, and your effective hit points, your overall effective hit points in the Hookbill using a structure tank or an armor tank is going to be a lot lower than the other counterparts in this ship class. What I mean by that is, like, your Comets are going to tank a lot better, simply because Galante ships have more hull hit points and it has a lot better slot layout. Firetails do about the same. But again, it's the trade-off. You get to use all of those mid slots for range dictation and E-War, so it gives you an edge. You just have to use that edge in a little different way. You can't just sit there at 0 on your opponent and just, you know, bash your head together. It's just not going to work. Now, it doesn't mean just because you have a tracking disruptor fit that you only can fight tracking disruptor. I'm sorry, turret ships. Now, this fight was against a Vigil Fleet issue, and again, having 2 webs is definitely going to be better than having 1 range bonus web. All of these fights take place within scram range, so having 2 is always going to be better than 1. Doesn't matter how long your range is. But the biggest thing that I wanted to kind of touch on before I forgot is that he was nuding me. And normally this would be a good thing, but a Hookbill doesn't really need cap for very much. Your rockets don't need cap to fire. You do need capacitor for your ancillary armor rep, but the biggest issue with that is that I was at around 7 or 8 kilometers for the majority of that fight, and he was still cycling his newt on me. Now, they've changed newts recently to make it so that you can still cycle them outside of their optimal range. It used to be if your newt reached out to 6 kilometers and you were 6 kilometer and 1 meter farther, you could hammer on that button all you wanted and you wouldn't be able to cycle the newt. Now they've added optimals and fall off so that you can still cycle it outside of its optimal and outside of its fall off, but it's just not going to remove as much capacitor, much in the same way that turrets use optimal and fall off. What I'm saying, what I'm getting to with that is that because I'm at 7 kilometers, he's already past his fall off, and he's going to be doing less than 50% of his energy neutralization, but he's still going to be paying the same amount of capacitor to activate the module. In other words, he's going to be using the same amount of cap to run the module, and it's not going to be doing very much to me. It's going to be doing maybe like 20% of its worth to me because my range is so far away. So at that point, he would actually be doing worse thanks to his own capacitor than he would be doing to mine, just because of the range. So he's going to be capping himself out with his own newt. Something that I've been seeing a lot, and I just kind of wanted to briefly touch on. Anyway, again, you have to have kind of a strategy in place when you want to fly this ship. The whole point is going to be range dictation and shutting down turrets. Now that's going to mean that you're going to want to find ships that use close range guns. Blasters and autocannons are absolutely wonderful. Lasers are a little bit tougher to tackle just simply because you can switch ammo instantly, and pulses have Scorch, which Scorch is amazing at range, so it's tough to, even if you're at 24 kilometers, taking 50% of that, you're still at 12 kilometers and you can still hit outside of scram range, so that one's a kind of tough one. But beams are the biggest reason. Beams have absolutely insane range with Aurora and track pretty well, so I would use a little bit of caution. That being said, you're gonna find out what this ship is good against, you know, just by flying it and getting a feel for it. This was the first one that was actually really challenging for me. I'm not the best micromanager. I'm not the best. I'm not amazing at making snap decisions. I kind of formulate a plan in my head before I get into an engagement, and I kind of just try to adapt it and play it out as it goes, and try to just adjust it, make little tweaks to my plan, and being able to quickly react to a different weapon system or quickly react to, you know, the changing battlefield isn't really one of my strong suits, but I'm getting better with practice, and hopefully, you know, which the result will be more green on my kill board than red. And finally, just wrapping up, I wanted to just kind of gloss over or kind of give you guys kind of an idea of how I go about crafting ship fits and figuring out kind of the meta and figuring out how I want to fly a ship that I've never flown before, how I want to fit it, right? So one of the wonderful tools that we have is external kill boards, and the one that I like to use is Z kill board. And basically what I did is I just searched whatever ship I was going to fly, and in this case it was the Hookbill, and it'll pull up just kill mails and kill mails and kill mails and kill mails, and you can basically just click on each one and just figure out how this person fit and what killed him. And that right there, just looking through a bunch of those kill mails, is going to give you a whole bunch of advice and a whole bunch of, you know, ideas. So, you know, take for instance shield tanked comet, like a shield tanked long range comet versus, you know, a short range blaster comet. I'm sorry, Hookbill. Totally messed all that up. Anyway, long story short, this is just going to give you an idea of how most people are flying it, and you can even search by who, you know, what pilots, who are the top 10 pilots of the Hookbill, and you can kind of go through their kill boards and just get tons and tons of information that's really going to help you. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. I hope you guys are enjoying the Great War that's going on. Definitely go in and participate. These things only happen every once in a while, so I think it's been 2 years since our last big war, so definitely go and check it out. Find some friends and go roam around Nullsec right now. There's just tons and tons of content happening, so go have some fun. And try out the Hookbill. It's different. It's a little bit more challenging than what I'm used to, but it's rewarding when you get the kill mail. Alright guys, hope you have a good day, and we'll see you out there.